if everything that you've wanted to get in your life and achieve or whatnot is presented to you on a golden platter with the spoons and everything that comes with it, you are not gonna appreciate it. You know why? Because you've not sweated, cried, and hurt for it. That's what it is. And the truth as well is that if you learn that, if you're being honest with yourself, even the moment you get all these things, you're like, okay, cool. Okay, I did that. What's next? That's the thing. Because some people decide to plateau themselves the moment they reach like this, that, and the other level that they feel like, well, this is good. Okay, I understand. I know a lot of people like that. Believe it or not, I know a lot of people that are content with this. People with some amazing talents. People that are much more talented than I am, And they're cool like that. They just don't want to do anything more. Because for them, the simple idea that they have to hustle and that they have to, that to succeed means that, or to get on the way to success means that you need to hurt, that you need to be in pain. And the thing is that it's not that you need to be in pain, but there's going to be a level of pain that you must accept to go through in order for you to get to where you want to go. That doesn't mean that you have to look at that pain as the most dreadful thing. When you go to the gym, you understand that you're going to have to be running against something or pushing against something or lifting or pulling, whatever it is that you're doing. It's going to exert a level of resistance to help you build your physique. And as you go through this process, as you build your physique, as you build this body that you want to build for yourself or for the others, whatever, it is also shaping your mind, because now you're learning the importance of persistence, insistence, hard work, and you're seeing that as painful as it is giving you results. And the moment you start seeing the results, the more motivated you are, right? And again, not everybody is like that, and we must accept it. I mean, fighting it really is ridiculous in a way, because it is what it is. It is what it is, and you can't, unfortunately, make people be who you are. You can try to inspire them to be. You can try to give them directions as to what it is, or give them insights as to what it is that you have done in order for you to achieve what you've achieved. But what works for me may not work for you. However, me sharing my experience with you may give you insights as to what it is that I've encountered and what it is that I had to do in order for me to get where I am. Therefore, it's a piece of information that you will maintain in your brain if you are indeed willing to, or if you see any value in it, that can allow you to unlock other things that will actually tap with what works for you. But if you don't have conversations, if you don't learn to exert your mind, to be confronted with people that don't share your vision, people that actually believe that you are not going to succeed, people who actually don't even have the same faith as you, that think that, I don't know if I told you a story here, but I met this guy that's a Satanist. Like, for him, his God is Satan. I mean, that's what it is. This thing that we see as that this depiction that we see of the devil, this guy, that's for him, that's his God. You know what? Was I comfortable? I ain't gonna lie, I wasn't. Because I'm just like, yo, shit. But then something in me said, you know what? Okay, who am I to judge his vision of what it is that, you know, he sees as God? You know, if that's his, it's not mine. But doesn't mean that me listening to him is going to contaminate me and make me all of a sudden a worshiper of the devil. No, it's not. But let me listen to his thing. And I will tell you right now, this was one of the most kindest men I have met. Honestly, had he not told me anything about, you know, and he felt comfortable to tell me and to open up about his, you know, his belief, which is obviously very unconventional and rather dark, if you ask me, because those are, you know, yeah, it's just not my vibe. But I still took the time. I said, okay, well, you know, let me listen to you. And yeah, he explained to me, said, yeah, this is what I believe. And he explains to me why, you know, there's a depiction of the devil that's this, and the other by the Bible, blah, 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 blah. I said, okay, I get it, you know. And intellectually, I understand what you're saying. And, you know, you're making sense if we look at things from your perspective. Problem is, according to my experience and to what I've seen, these vibrations don't serve any good in my life. Therefore, or in anybody's life around me. Therefore, there's no way I can see it being something that I would embrace at any point or any moment. Am I indeed aware that there's darkness in me as much as the darkness in you? We have all this balance, this art. Well, we have this duality of darkness and light in us. We are indeed, you know, a reflection of these energies. And sometimes, you know, life makes us feed one more than the other. And then at a certain point, either you understand the necessity that to understand and acknowledge the presence of the darkness in you, but also to make sure that, you know, you got it under enough control so that it doesn't reign your life. It doesn't regiment your interaction with people. It doesn't mess up the great things that you're building. Because, you know, again, it is it's okay for you to believe in what you believe. Is it going to change my life? No. Is it adding to my life? It's adding information to my head. Yes. Intellectually, I've been able to listen to you when I thought in my wildest dream that if I, not even in my wildest dream, in my wildest reflections, that if I was to ever meet somebody like that, I would like be super defensive. I'll fuck them up. Then I did none of that, because guess what? That man was extremely kind, very polite, extremely selfless, you know, very giving to others, and yet had a completely opposite belief to mine. But like, we're not talking about just your regular belief. That guy really actually believed that, again, as I said, you know, the devil is, you know, the real deal. And I was like, hey, yo, yeah, I guess. It is what it is. Not for me, but okay, cool. Some people would say, how would you even allow such a person to speak to you? You know, this is this is that. But like, look, man, again, some of us are capable of having these kind of conversations, uncomfortable with people that, you know, makes us feel uncomfortable, that as well sometimes put us in front of ourselves as well. Because guess what? You know, if something makes you really uncomfortable, you got to look at what it, of course, there's obvious reasons as to why it would. But the truth is that if you truly say, and as I said, if you truly are of God, right? If you truly are of that powerful light and energy, I'm not saying that you should put yourself purposefully and be there in front of the darkness and say, okay, come try me. Because obviously that's anything in life, you know, if there's a snake and you know it bites, it can fuck you up. You know, you gotta be stupid to go and still try to prove a point, because usually you're gonna be proven actually wrong. You're gonna be proven wrong. So, but the thing is that, you know, if you are indeed standing in that light, if you are indeed stable and anchored, none of that should move you and will actually move you. So the bottom line is, you need to have a strong basis, and a strong basis is acquired through, you know, the learning process, and this whole learning process is painful, you know, to have to, you know, acquire knowledge, to have to acquire strength, to have to, all of these things are not easy. But you can make them easy by looking at them, instead of looking at them as a chore, as a hurdle or whatnot. You look at them as something that is empowering. Because every time you push through and go beyond the pain and go beyond all of these, thoughts in your mind, those dark thoughts, right? That makes you want to give up. No, it's enough. You look, your arms are hurting. Like today I went to the gym, right? We did this very hectic series for the biceps. And they were burning. Like when I say burning, I felt the lactic acid in my muscles. It was horrible, but I pushed through. When my mind said, okay, stop now, I added 5 more. Every time it would say stop now, I would add 5 more. Was I like that before? Not necessarily. But again, there's, people think there's a direct line. There's no such thing as a direct line. You're gonna make errors. You're gonna make wins, but you're gonna have more errors than wins, and that's okay, because that's just what life is. At least from my experience, it might not be yours. Again, I'm talking about my experience. So if it offends you, hey, I don't care. I don't give a fuck, because at the end of the day, it's my experience, and my experience shouldn't offend you. If anything, it should open your eyes as to what my experience was, so you can understand me maybe better, and maybe draw inspiration, or not, or say fuck off. That was cool, but whatever. I don't need to hear that. Cool, all good. Whatever. That's you. But the bottom line is that we need to understand the necessity of enduring, and also with all of that, we also must surround ourselves of and with people that truly care for us, that indeed can provide counsel, that can be there for us, to allow us to make sense sometimes of some of these very painful experiences we have in life, or some of the things that are within us that makes us feel a certain way. You need to be able to trust somebody enough to speak on that, to share with you on that, and kind of really dive with you into the depth of those very things that you need to speak of and to speak on. You know what I mean? And yeah, learning to surround yourself with the right friend and the right people is also something very, very, very difficult. My parents always told me that I was very lucky, or they didn't really understand how I made. Obviously, I had a great education. I will give them 100% of the merit for the education I received, because it was a strict education, but it was loving. My dad was not one to be played with. Like he's not the type of guy like you're gonna come in and say some dumb shit to. He's gonna get your ass straight, really straight, with some, like, you ain't gonna do no nonsense next to me. By straight, I'm not talking about sexual orientation. I'm just saying, like, you are not gonna be acting a fool, right? We're not spending all this money in your education. We're not doing all of these things for you to undervalue or to not see the value in what it is that we're doing for your future. And those are very, very important learning processes. And with that being said, I understood that, and I had a pride. I wanted my parents to be proud of the friends that I was bringing home, and I always made sure that, I would bring, friends that were of great education, and it had nothing to do with social background or anything of the kind. No, not at all. As a matter of fact, some of my tightest homies when I was a kid, because I came from a fortunate environment, but to this day, some of my guys, they came from families that were not doing well financially. And with some, was there jealousy? Maybe. Certainly there was, but understandably so. And with the others, there wasn't. And those to these days are still my brothers. Even those who were jealous, we're brothers, but we're not as connected, but yeah, there's respect. I mean, at the end of the day, come on, man. It's normal. Acknowledge people, acknowledge you, acknowledge your environment, accept that. Not everybody's going to be like you. Yes. Oh, I don't understand. I'm such a nice person, and this is what I get for being nice. Exactly. Learn with who you're being nice. That doesn't mean that you need to be a dick with everybody in order to find out if you need to be nice with these people. No. Just learn how much of that niceness you're giving. Because if you give everything every time you meet somebody new, then of course you're going to be taken advantage of. That's what human beings are. You know? And then you have people who know exactly. They know. Like you don't need to tell them. You don't need to remind them their position. I'm one of these people. Because I don't like to be told off. I don't like to be told, oh, you didn't, and I will behave. That's how I was raised. And I hated that feeling, that humiliation. Because I felt humiliated every time somebody had to tell me off and tell me and remind me of my position. I felt very humiliated. And it's a feeling I freaking dislike to the core. And to this day, you know, I hold myself to high regard, to a high standard. Not saying that I'm better, and it's not about being better than anything, but I need to be better than myself. If I feel like this time and these interactions I wasn't necessarily at my best, okay, cool. You know, I'm not gonna beat myself to it for it, but I will change a few things, and I will better my interaction with this or that person the next time I see them, because that was just inappropriate, or it was not really a great depiction of my character. You know, and it happens, and it's okay. It's us being humans, you know. So holding things against people, we can do that, of course, but you must understand what people's sufferance is. Because if you are indeed truly, oh my God, everybody loves, I'm an empath. If you truly are an empath, because a lot of these people think I'm an empath, but I gotta protect my energy at all costs. The thing is that you're protecting yourself from what? Well, you know, these negative vibes and all these bad spirits. Like, do you realize that you have your own? Before you talk about other people potentially, you know, polluting you with this, that, and the other. Because it's easy to say it's them. It's harder to say it's you. Because indeed, it's our own behavior sometimes. It's our own projections. It's all of these things that sometimes can create the very demon we think that others bring to our lives. But you gotta be honest with yourself. You got to be willing to dig deep inside of you and look at yourself. Because when you're alone, there's nobody around you. Who are you lying to? And again, you know, so many layers to that concept could go into this conversation. But some of your wildest, most deepest secrets in life are between you and your life. Are between you, yourself, and you. Nobody knows about them. Nobody knows about your deepest, most hidden secret besides you, right? Who are you lying to them? If you know who you are and you're not comfortable with the true you, and again, by that, let me be clear. If you are an assassin, if you're somebody who's a serial killer and you're repressing these emotions, yeah, I think that's a wise thing to fucking do. And you should consult somebody that, and I'm not laughing at it, it's a serious topic. You should consult somebody to get yourself some help, for sure. Because I'm not saying this to say, well, you should truly embrace that. Obviously not. Even though unfortunately some people just decide to live in their truth to that core, where it's like, well, I want to be as deviant as possible, and because that's who I am and I can't do anything about it. By saying being true to yourself doesn't mean that you got to be true to your dumb shit, but you got to acknowledge your biases. You got to acknowledge all of these dark spots, dark rooms inside of you, and not be scared of them, and understand that, you know, yeah, it's there and it doesn't control you. Okay, it's easier for me to say than because but than I may imagine. But what tells you I haven't done that work for myself? It's again, it's not an easy. And again, I'm speaking like this, and I know how difficult it is. But Rivera saying they will come at you before you fall asleep. Oh yeah, they'll come at you in the most unexpected time as well, because not just when you fall asleep, they'll come at you when you expect them the least. They'll come at you in moments and at times where you're just like, oh God, exactly. But find that God in you, find that greatness in you, understand that you're not necessarily what, the people that try to bring down your character, that bring down your spirit because they're scared of, your love and your generosity and all of that. Don't let them win. Don't let them win, because you being kind doesn't mean that you're weak. You being good doesn't mean that you're a little bitch or this or that. No, it doesn't mean none of that. As a matter of fact, it is a testament to your commitment to you being truly you and honoring the gift that has been given to you. And whatever that gift is for you, then truly manifest it. And I know now what I'm saying might sound a little bit abstract. You might not exactly know what to apply it to for some of you. But, if you have any doubts, keep thinking about it. Keep looking back at this video and what I just said. There's never just one layer of understanding an actual conversation or words that are being spoken, because only you know which degree of layers it is touching inside of you. It can be surface, it can be super deep, it can be whatever. Or it cannot just touch you at all, which is also cool. I take a lot of my time to think, to analyze things. I don't have the answers, obviously, but I have some answers for me. For example, when I was a kid, I wasn't good at math. Wasn't. Well, I was, but then I had a teacher that discouraged me a lot from mathematics. But I always admired numbers. I have the utmost respect for mathematics and numbers and complex equations and all of these things. It's something that I don't know how to explain. It's almost like my subconscious, my spirit, it understands it, but my conscious mind doesn't. Like it's just weird. But something in my soul understands it. And God knows I wanted to be a mathematician, and all of these things. But no, I had, I don't know if it's dyslexia for numbers, but anyways, I have a thing with numbers where, as grown as you see me, sometimes I still have to count on my fingers. Why? Because we didn't necessarily acknowledge, like sometimes I'll see numbers, but I'll see them in, like, it's very strange, maybe it's stress, whatever it is. But it is what it is. Is it something is it confessed? Not necessarily, but but since I don't care what you're going to do about it, because I know that I function well and I know that I understand numbers. I just understand them in my own way, and I need my own practice and I need my own sequencing to be put in place in order for me to grasp certain equations. Right? And that's it. That doesn't make me less or more than you or anyone.